Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is many a true nerd, and welcome back to Nicole, Male Romancers Active. Last time, we had two hunky boys at the same time, which is immensely exciting, so I'm very keen to get back into this, because it feels like all the paths are going to start diverging, which is very, very exciting indeed. So here we are, it is Thursday, October the 10th at the moment, and it looks like after a morning class, it looks like we have something to do with Jeff. I love Jeff. I'm kind of feeling like I want to go for Jeff's ending. You'll probably notice I've been putting up the wit stat an awful lot. I feel like, yeah, Jeff is probably the most weird character and probably the most interesting because I have no idea where his mad science is going. So I kind of want to get his ending. So I feel like that's probably the ending I'm gunning for at the moment. Anyway, so this is why Jeff wanted my number so badly. To text me orders. Oh, Jeff, that's not how you get a lady to like you. Assistant, I require your presence at the town pharmacy this afternoon. Be punctual. This has to be like the third time I've read over this text. It seems like a harmless request, but if I know Jeff, it's going to be anything but harmless. I sigh. Should I do it? I'm done with class for today. I don't have much else planned. Fine. I guess I can go. I mean, what's the worst Jeff can do if I don't... He can murder you, Nicole! There's a... Well, not murder, but there is a kidnapper and serial woman abducting drug fiend who takes women's memory away. That is a thing that has happened an awful lot recently. It's like 3 students that's happened to. On second thoughts, I probably shouldn't think too hard about that. No, you shouldn't. Clearly not. So I'm supposed to head to the pharmacy in town, huh? I think I passed it by a few times when I was out and about. I should be able to find it, no problem. What is the problem is that I'm still not sure what this whole being Jeff's assistant thing, it almost feels like I'm cheating my way to an A. Well, yes, it does, because that was the whole point. You did say when you took the job it's because you wanted an easy A. That was the whole point, Nicole. I know Jeff is only going to talk me up to Professor Garver, but it still feels wrong. I should be earning in the A, not bribing unhinged lab assistants for it. But this isn't too much of an advantage, right? And it's not like I just landed in my lap. I don't see anyone else on their way to the pharmacy. I'm totally earning this. I just have to keep telling myself that. I decide to head straight to the pharmacy from my classroom. I'm already dressed. There's no reason to stop by my... You said you've gone to the cinema by mistake, Nicole. Because that's not a farm... Oh, God. Fine, never mind, Nicole. Let's see what incredible madness you can come up with this time. After passing by the school gates, I stroll into town. Now where exactly did I see the pharmacy before? I think it was close to the convenience store? Maybe? Now that I think about it, do I pass the pharmacy on the way to my part-time job there? It's as good a bet as any. I don't have any better leads. Might as well go with my gut. To my luck, it actually pays off. Halfway down my regular route, I spot the pharmacy just down the street. Shopping carts are pushed to the side of the glass doors and there are ads and other local advertisements taped to the window. The inside of the pharmacy is pretty nice. It's clean with white flooring. At the front is where all the registers are, and past that are shelves of random household merch. To the very, very back is the medicine counter, where people get their goods. I like how Jeff didn't tell me where he'd be in the pharmacy like I'm a psychic or something, but I can figure it out. I should just get in touch with him. Easy. I try to call him from the front of the store, looking around as I do in case he manages to pass me by. The good news is the call connects, but the bad news is that it goes straight to Jeff's voicemail. Wow, did he hang up on me? At least I know it's on and Jeff's alive. I guess he's in the middle of something. Can't imagine what it'd be. But whoa, hello there. Apparently, he's not busy enough to be unable to text too. Go to the back, his text message says. Well, mystery solved. Looks like Jeff is near the drugs. I really should have seen that coming. I pass through the aisles until I get to the back counter. It's completely partitioned off from the rest of the store by the counter and a glass sheet that nearly reaches the ceiling. If I look through it, I can see the word pharmacy on the wall. And you can tell Nicole is telling the truth because it does indeed say that there in the picture. There's a doorway built where I can see the stocked shelves of the back room. But that's not more noticeable than the person working at the counter. Jeff standing behind one of the openings of the partition, right in the middle of speaking with a customer. His eyes acknowledge that I'm there as he continues to chat. I don't really mind. If he's behind the counter, it must be part of his job. I'd no idea he worked here. I thought the pharmacy was just some arbitrary decision. I take a seat on a chair to the side. Standing around would just look totally awkward, and it's a lot comfier to check out roller this way. Oh, cool. A DIY for tie-dye shorts. Totally saving that for the summer season. I love Nicole. I love Nicole that she's just been lured to the pharmacy by the unhinged lab assistant, and she decided to just check out roller. She's not the slightest bit interested in what he's there for. She's just as after the roller. I don't finish the tutorial before the customer leaves. Eventually, out of the corner of my eye, I see the customer part from the counter with a white baggie in hand. Looks like Jeff is all free now. I stand to my feet and pocket my phone. I can already feel his full attention is on me. Hey, Jeff. Assistant. Jeff nods at me from the other side of the counter. Excellent job on arriving so promptly. You only prove I have excellent taste when it comes to picking subordinates. I think that's supposed to be a compliment. Thank you. I haven't done anything like this before, but how hard can it be, right? Oh, it'll be hard. I wouldn't need to hire you if it was easy. Alright, he's got a point there. Way to harsh my mellow, Jeff. It's almost like you want me to hate doing this. I don't care about how you personally feel about being my assistant, so long as you do an acceptable job with it. However, I didn't call you here for an evaluation. I wanted to talk more in-depth about that potion I mentioned before. Ah, so we're finally getting to the deets of what Jeff is aiming to make. I lean in curiously, but I go so far that I accidentally bump my forehead against the glass. Hold on. I drop down to my haunches so my face is level with the small opening for hands. Ha, I am so clever. Okay, hit me. Jeff's voice drops to a whisper. Assistant, while I do enjoy how much of a fool you're making of yourself... Jeff's eyes move as though they're spotting something behind me, and I slowly turn in place to see that there's another customer waiting in line. I must look like I'm trying to squeeze my head through this opening now. That's not normal. Quickly, I straighten up and do my best to act like I'm not completely embarrassed out of my mind. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't know you were there. I shuffle out of the way and to the side again. As I do so, I hear Jeff call after me using that fake nice voice of his. Nicole, I'll be on my break right after this. Okay, I'll be around. After that, there's no way I'm staying where that customer can see me. I'll just window shop the aisles. That should be a good time waster. Plus, I can hide away until the coast is clear. But all they have here is pills and syrups and more pills. I should have expected it when I decided to wander into the aisle for non-prescriptive medication, but still, boring. I wonder if I should stock up on ibuprofen while I'm here. You know, because of Jeff. Huh, good one, me. No, seriously, working for Jeff sounds like it's going to be a real headache. Just keep telling yourself you're doing it for the A, Nicole. Do it for the A. But since ibuprofen's on the brain, I pick up one of the more generic bottles and take a look. I don't know what I was expecting besides a list of complicated ingredients and directions. How does anyone manage to spend time in a pharmacy? Oh, that's right. They don't. I place the bottle back on the shelf and turn to see someone else is checking out the medications. Oh, I know this person. Ted? Is that you? Oh, good, we've got another two-boy meetup. This is great. Ted turns to look as he hears me. He's my superior at the convenience store I work part-time at. He can be a little rough around the edges when it comes to seeing... Why are you introducing us to Ted, Nicole? We know who Ted is. But... What? Alright, fine. Yes, Ted is a little rough around the edges when it comes to social interaction, but he's a nice guy. Hey, nice to see you. Huh? Likewise, I suppose. I didn't expect to see you in here, Nicole. He waves a bottle he's holding. You know if there are any cheaper brands than this one? I ain't looking to pass up a deal if I can help it. Wow, classic Ted. I lean to take a look at what the cheapskate's holding. Oh, cough medicine. You feeling sick? Ain't for me, it's for my pa. He's been under the weather since yesterday, and we're fresh out of any cough syrup back home. I can't remember what brand he gets. Even if I did, I bet my britches he picks some name brand when they're perfectly fine cheaper alternatives. Ted crosses his arms like there's no arguing with him. There isn't usually, but it's mainly because he's so damn stubborn that he won't listen to a word you say. I guess we could scope out the prices and compare. Of all of these, that sounds like a waste so much time. Hey, it's not like you had any better ideas. Ted arches a brow. He's about to say something, but he just falls silent. Then, he just appears plain angry. I was only saying. Not you. Ted shakes his head at me. I just noticed there's a snake in the grass. Wait, what does he mean by that? I turn to see what Ted's looking at, and there's Jeff, leaning a shoulder against the aisle like he's amused by what he sees. Oh my goodness, Ted and Jeff know each other and Ted doesn't like Jeff. My assistant, the company you keep. You seem like the type to pick up a stray dog on the side of the road. Who are you calling a dog? As Ted advances on Jeff, I step in between the two of them with my hands held out. It doesn't take a genius to figure out there's some bad blood here. Hey, maybe we shouldn't beat each other up in the middle of the pharmacy? I like that idea. I ain't the one asking for a fight. I was only making an observation. Jeff inches behind me and staples his hands on my shoulders like a frightened child. Can you believe it, assistant, how terrible he acts towards me? I only want to be his friend, but it's hard to be friends with someone who yells all the time, don't you think? I don't yell. I don't think the pointing out that he just did will help the situation very much. And we ain't friends. Never have been, never will. You've been busting my chops ever since the day we met. And wasn't that a wondrous day? Wait, I'm confused. Are you guys friends, or are you not? We are. We aren't. The two of them answer near simultaneously. How do you happen to be acquainted to the cowboy, assistant? Jeff leans in and sniggers in my ear. That's my nickname for him, if you hadn't guessed. Clever, would you not agree? It is both fitting and utterly ridiculous. Oh, I get it, like the cowboys from the South. I flinch as Ted leers angrily in my direction, but it was a little funny. But anyway, Ted and I work at the convenience store together. You can call him my boss. That's right, and Nicole unfortunately knows you because... Jeff lets go of my shoulders so he can stand beside me. Nicole happens to be my assistant. Assistant? An assistant is someone who... I know what a dang assistant is. My mistake. I wasn't sure if you were introduced to that level of vocabulary just yet. I have to say, I'm impressed. Ted's nostrils flare up, and for a moment I think he's going to explode, but he takes a deep, tense breath and relaxes. You know what? I actually don't give a hoot anymore. I have my own things to take care of, so leave me alone. I'll see you at work, Nicole. Take care of yourself. Ted pointedly stares at Jeff, then stomps off to look at the cold medicine again. Man, just watching that exchange wore me out. Couldn't you have been a little bit nicer to him? Me? Are you suggesting I was being otherwise? Don't tell me that was you being nice. Definitely not, but it wouldn't be fun to admit it right off the bat like that. Can we just talk about the potion now, pretty please? If we don't, I think I'm going to go crazy. Yes, excellent thinking. My break is limited, and I will be kept busy afterward. Jeff wrinkles his nose in distaste. A shame, but anyway, yes. The potion I want to create. Tell me, assistant, do you know of the chemical oxytocin? No, I haven't heard of that before. What does it do? It's a hormone we mammals create, and for what it does many things. But the most central and well-known is in its role in attachment. By attachment, you mean getting close to someone? In every aspect of the word, yes. Familial, sexual, platonically, oxytocin is released when we participate in behaviours that reinforce this sort of bonding. What I aim to do is create a potion that mimics this effect. Jeff raises his arms into the air as though he's about to make a proclamation to the heavens. Perhaps even supram. The moment he starts screaming, I leap forward and plant a hand over his loud mouth. I see. Thank goodness there aren't that many people near us beside Ted, and he seems hell-bent on ignoring anything that comes out of Jeff's mouth. Inside voice, Jeff, okay? I wait until I get the nod of the head before I step back. My apologies, I tend to lose myself when it comes to alchemy. I'm usually much more contained. Jeff loosens his collar and clears his throat. Thank you, assistant. It wouldn't do to reveal my hands to the world quite like that. Yeah, you're telling me. Though really, is there an easy way to tell people that you have a fake personality and your real one is actually kind of weird? Anyway, you want to make a potion that makes people like you. Am I following you? That is correct. And is that even something you can make? Do you doubt me? I hold up a hand and pinch my index finger and thumb together. Just a bit, but it sounds too good to be true. If something like that could be made, I think it would have been made already. True. The motive is there, however, is the passion, the genius? No. Where others have failed, I will succeed. I am a modern-day alchemist. Inside voice. I quickly remind him before he gets out of hand again. I've got to say, the way he goes on about it, this makes me buy that he actually can make this potion. Genius will not be silenced, but for the sake of secrecy, I will do as you say. Jeff removes a folded piece of blue lined notebook paper from his pocket. I've been formulating a recipe for this potion for quite some time now. If I want to conduct it in the most perfect synthesis, these are the ingredients I'll require. Ooh, it's like a little envelope. God's sake, Nicole. Here's Jeff trying to create something that at its best is a friendship potion and at its worst is a date rape drug. And Nicole's interested because it's like a little envelope, the recipes that he needs for the date rape drug. Of course, you learned that in beginner's level origami. Carefully, I slide out the top flap of the paper envelope and start unfolding it from there. Jeff's handwriting is all chicken scratchy like a doctor's, but I can still make it out. Midnight Trome... Oh god, what I don't even know some of these. Midnight Trombe, or Trome, not sure. Flower nectar. Opuntia, pure salt, ginger roots, cream, strawberries, mint. To taste. Jeff adds that, noticing how weirded out I sounded by the last three ingredients. Well, okay, the last three should be easy and it shouldn't be too hard to find ginger and salt, but do the first two really exist? They certainly do, at least they should. Where did you get this ingredient list anyway? Research? Yeah, but what were you researching? That will be my secret, but it is as you say. I have no trouble finding the last three items, and the other two shouldn't be too difficult either. But for the nectar and the opuntia, I haven't the foggiest clue where to find them. It is so irksome to be so close and just to stand still. That is why I require an assistant service. Perhaps you will be the final push I need to make it past this. Right, about that. If you have no clue where to find these, what makes you think I will? Because frankly, I don't even know where to start searching for these. You're a decently intelligent girl, surely you'll think of something. Easy for you to say. I read over Jeff's list of ingredients one more time. Midnight Trome flower nectar and opuntia. It's no use. I don't have any idea where to find either of these. I bet someone outdoorsy would know. These things sound like stuff you'd find in nature, but who would be knowledgeable about that sort of stuff? Well, that and have a good head on their shoulders in general. Wait, don't I know someone like that? Jeff? Would you consider Ted to be the outdoorsy type? Cowboy? Now that you mention it, he does seem like your typical Boy Scout. I seem to recall him mentioning camping once or twice. Hey, if he's willing to put himself for a camping trip, he must like the outdoors at least a little bit. Maybe I should ask Ted, but I don't know. Would Jeff think that's a good idea? It's ultimately up to him, as much as I hate to admit it. Ooh. The thing is, Jeff is so flipping up himself. Like, I can't just, go over his head and ask Ted, because he'd, be furious that I'd spoken to someone he clearly has contempt for. And he won't accept the answer. He won't accept the answer that Ted gives, because he hates Ted so much. And I can't just tell Jeff to handle it on his flipping own, because I'm his flipping assistant. So if I want to go down his route, and I think I might do actually, just for fun, then that's out. That only leaves ask Jeff about my idea, because Jeff, I think, will like the fact that I have an idea, but I'm going to pass it over to him to get his input, because it means that I acknowledge he's really, really clever. So I think he's so vain about his intelligence, he'll like that. So ask Jeff about your idea. I think I have an idea, but I'm not so sure about it. An idea is still an idea. What is it? I know you and Ted don't exactly get along, but I was thinking since he's right there, and you said it yourself that he's the type to know about outdoorsy things. Jeff picks up on what I'm saying before I even finish my train of thought. Aha! Excellent. Good. Right, that worked. That we should ask him about that flower? Brilliant, assistant. I couldn't have put it better myself. Do you think he'll help us after everything you just said to him? I have a hard time believing that. Pish posh, you underestimate the soft, mushy kindness that lies in the pit of the cowboy's heart. You simply crack open the hard exterior, and he's like putty in your hands. Jeff gestures for me to follow after him as he takes the lead towards Ted. He looks like he's about ready to leave, but before he's out of the aisle, Jeff places a few fingers in his mouth and lets out a piercing whistle. Ow, seriously, at least it catches Ted's attention. What the hell do you want now? He has one eye closed, cringing in pain, and his hands are held loosely over his ears. Settle down, cowboy. Believe it or not, I actually came here to ask for your help, which, I might add, was thanks to my assistant here. Jeff gestures at me, standing right beside him. Unlike me, she seems to have faith in your intelligence, which we will now see if it is unfounded. Every word I hear comes out of your fancy pants mouth makes me want to turn around and go. But if Nicole thinks I can help you out, well, it wouldn't be very polite of me to turn it down. Just saying, you're lucky she's asking is all. Ah, and I get the relationship with Ted up a little bit too, alright? That's good. I think Ted falling on behind a little bit there. Did I get... Yeah, I got one of his questions wrong, of course, with that one time. I got the question about the uniform wrong a couple of parts back. Ted gives a small smile in my direction. No, I'll take it. I was just going with my gut. Have you ever heard of either a midnight... I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, right? Is that a real thing? This Trom or Trombe or Trome flower? I'm really not sure. I'm just going to call it Trome. I'm sorry, I'm not that nature person myself. So I do not know if that's a real thing. Have you either heard of a midnight Trome flower or a puntia? Ted hums unsurely as he takes in the names. That second thing don't ring any bells, but the flower name sounds familiar. Midnight Trome flower. I ain't positive, but can't you find those in the school's arboretum? It's truly that close by? I raise a hand. Wait, what's an arboretum for God's sake? Well, if there's anyone in this group of three's intelligence who we should be questioning, I think we know who it is now. Jeff gives me a look like I'm a kid that's just interrupted the adults talking. Nicole. Very well, if we must. It is the responsibility of every good superior to make sure their assistants are kept up to speed. An arboretum is simply a place where plants that will be studied or cultivated and grown. Consider it a type of outdoor museum for plants. Like I said, I'm no expert, but I do think I've come across the name on one of the signs in there. Wow, if Ted's right, this could be a huge lead. However, Jeff doesn't seem to be as impressed as I am. Not as useful as Nicole suggested, but somewhat. I suppose you have proved you possess at least a grade schooler's level of intelligence. Before Ted can shoot back a retort, Jeff holds up a finger, then quietly heads to the section of the shelf to pick up a bottle of cold medicine. Here you are. He tosses it towards Ted, and the other boy barely reacts in time to catch it. Hey! You're looking for the best deal on cold medicine, correct? It's that one, not the cheapest, but it is potent. The one you hold now is cheaper, but it will take longer for your father to get better. Well, if that's the one thing you're good for, it's knowing your stuff about medicine. Ted hands over the cheap stuff and takes the bottle that Jeff threw at him. That all? You done with me? You're free to leave. Thanks for the help, Ted. Yeah, don't mention it. Good luck with whatever it is. Ted gives a final wave before he takes off for the registers. Once he's finally gone, Jeff turns to me with a satisfied smile on his face. That's that then. We head to the school arboretum immediately. But Ted didn't sound too sure if the flower was there or not. What if it isn't? Nicole, my dumbfounded darling assistant. It will definitely work out in the end. Do not fear. I'm super skeptical, but it won't do to have Jeff be the optimistic one around here. Yeah, you're right. We shouldn't psych ourselves out yet. But how much longer do you have for your break? Jeff takes a look down at his watch. I was supposed to be back 2 minutes ago. That's not good. I suppose that's my cue to take my leave. I will formulate a time and date for the expedition and inform you accordingly. For now, this is goodbye. And like that, Jeff heads to the back counter again, leaving me all alone in the cold medicine aisle. So he wanted to make a potion that can make people like you. It sounds amazing, but can adding all these ingredients together in some magic pot really work? Well, whether it works or not, all I need is to help out Jeff. I'll get Mr. Garver to like me, he gets to do his alchemy thing, and everyone wins. At least, if I can believe him. I'm going to be honest, Nicole, I don't feel like everyone wins. I do distinctly feel like, given he specifically mentioned that the oxytocin was part of sexual attraction, that we are handing the man who is an insane pathological liar and has been deliberately lying to get people to like him, we're giving this man the ability to create a drug that can get people to want to sleep with you. And this is a terrible, terrible idea. I really hope that's not where that's going. I hope this is actually because Jeff just wants everyone to like him. Oh, it's the following Monday morning and it looks like Nicole is having a bad time in class. Today in class is terrible. I can't concentrate. I can't believe this. I marched down the halls of the dorm, muttering angrily to myself under my breath. I'm going to kill Kurt. Oh, thank God, this is a plotline I can get behind. Let's murder Kurt. We were supposed to meet today for another tutoring session, but he never showed up. So of course I tried texting him, but no answer. Then I tried to call him, but he didn't pick up either. Naturally, I was so pissed, I got in touch with Darren. I figured if anyone knew where Kate's lazy ass was, it would be his roommate. Long story short, so I'm here in their dorm. Darren told me that Kurt's in their room, still asleep. It's like not even noon yet, so I guess I can understand, but can this guy not stick to commitments? At least he didn't ditch me on purpose. That would have made me way more peeved. So as much as I'd like an excuse to, I can't kill him for this. No! Kill him anyway! Kill! 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 I figure I'll do something along the way to make me change my mind though. Almost certainly. I haven't actually been in this dorm before. It's pretty nice as mine, but I figure it has to be expected since we're in the same school. Duh. Darren said their room was the 400s. 411? I double checked the text he sent me to make sure. Yep, 411. I look around trying to find a sign for the room numbers and I spot one with an arrow to the right with 400 to 414. Sounds like that's where I go. It leads me to a long hallway and I count the room numbers as I walk past them. Eventually, I reach the end where 411 to 414 are tucked away. I love how this epic adventure of can Nicole find room 411 is happening while we can see room 411 on screen. It's marvellous. Not wanting to waste any more time, I knock on the door with 411 doorplay and take a step back, waiting for someone to answer. I can hear footsteps on the other side. Who is it? It's Nicole! I recognise that voice, so it's no surprise that I see Darren on the other side of the door when he opens it. Oh, hello Nicole. Darren greets me with a small smile and a polite nod. He's always so nice. Hey, so where is he? I tried to look past Darren to see if I could spot Kurt, but Darren does his best to lean in my way. He's asleep, but I don't know if it would be the best idea to let you in. I groan and cross my arms in annoyance. Oh, why not? Kurt tends to become testy if woken up by force. Darren looks away and pushes on the bridge of his glasses nervously. He can be a bit frightening at his worst. Is that why you haven't woken him up yet, even though it's going to be lunchtime soon? Darren nods meekly. His cheeks are lit red with a blush. Sorry. No, don't apologise. I believe you when you say Maidry can be scary. If you want, though, I can try to wake him up. You, Nicole, I do not know. I'm not scared of Kurt Maidry. Just be sure to have 911 ready in case you need an ambulance. Darren sighs at my joke, but stands to the side to let me into their room. Just be careful. The room is way more different than I was expecting. Wait, no, I take that back. If this was Kurt's room, it'd be perfect. Football paraphernalia is everywhere, from the medals on the wall to the rug on the floor. Geez, Darren, do you own anything in here? Darren points in the left corner of the room, where a small cubicle desk is installed. My laptop and, the books. That's not what I meant. Well, Kurt was so enthusiastic about making our room the, what did he say? The best man cave ever. Karen curls down the first two fingers on each hand to air quote. So I simply allowed him to do what he wished. I don't mind. Oh, I did offer my input on which posters to hang up, though. I look at the wall to see macho-looking posters of cars and women in bikinis. I guess they do have a sort of artsy element to them that I see in the pics Darren reblogs. But oops, I got distracted from the reason I came here. It's not too hard to miss Kurt's large form wrapped up in his navy blue sheets, whereas Darren's bed on the left is all properly made. Kurt's is all messy, even for one that's currently being used. His stuff is littered at the foot, and his blanket's been kicked out from under the mattress, and just hangs over, nearly touching the floor. Unfortunately, I noticed that Kurt is a fan of sleeping shirtless, judging from his bare shoulders. He looks a lot different when he's sleeping, like, more tolerable. Alright, so I drop my bag onto the floor, then bend over to pick up a football from Kurt's side of the room. Do you think if I throw this at him, he'll wake up? Nicole? Kidding. He's going to beat his boat up if I do that. I hand the football over to Darren and step over to Kurt's bedside. Tentatively, I reach out and grab his shoulder. Psst, Madry. I whisper as I lightly shake his body, trying to rouse him from sleep as gently as I can. It's not working. Madry! I raise my voice this time and Kurt finally cracks an eye open, grumbling restlessly. Kurt sits up in bed, rubbing his eyes with his wrist. Grave? Morning sunshine? Did we forget what today is? Kurt sleepily cocks his head, but suddenly he jolts into action, so he's been struck by lightning. Crap! What time is it? It's nearly noon, Kurt. You almost slept through lunch. Kurt groans and drops his head into his palms. Damn it! He looks right at me. I never thought I'd see him appear so sincerely apologetic, as he does now. I didn't mean to leave you hanging again, Grave. Seriously, I didn't. I remember crashing really late that night. I never thought I'd be out for so long. Relax, Darren explained everything. It's totally cool, we can reschedule. Nah, let's still do it. We can do it right now if you let me get changed really fast. Oh right, he's only wearing pyjama pants. I kind of forgot. No, he's not. He's clearly wearing some sort of vest. Wait, and the text said that he had bare shoulders. You think the game would bother to render him shirtless if the script actually specifically describes him as shirtless and we can... Never mind. You know what? Never mind. Well, if you want, I have all my stuff with me. We can just study here in your room. If that's okay with you, Darren. I don't have a problem with that. It's fine. Sweet. Thanks, bro. I'm going to get changed. Kurt pulls his sheets off him and stands up from the bed. He lazily scratches his chest as he wanders over to the closet. Feel free to watch, Grave. I told you before, I ain't got nothing to be ashamed of. Ha, nice try. Come on, Darren, keep me company outside. I hear Kurt laugh after us as I lead Darren out of the room to give the big oaf some privacy. I swear, he can be so annoying sometimes. He means it in good fun. Truth be told, he treats many girls the same way. I wouldn't take it personally. I guess, but I still don't think that's a good excuse. Yes, I can imagine it becomes quite, grating after a while. Darren trails off and quickly casts around for another topic. How's the tutoring going? It's going well. Who'd have thought it? Don't tell him I said that. I won't. It's wonderful to hear. I was hoping you'd be able to help him in that class. Well, you know me. I'm just that amazing. But hey, Darren, does Kurt usually oversleep like this? No, not regularly. He's not a morning person by any means, but he's certainly capable of waking up before noon. I think he was up late last night studying, which is quite strange since he hasn't mentioned the upcoming test. If I had to guess, I would say he was studying for your tutoring session today. You really think that? seems like the most likely conclusion, but I'm not sure I should have told you that. Kurt may not approve of me discussing his attempts to impress you, especially if they were supposed to remain secret. I laugh a little bashfully. Kurt's trying to impress me. Well, I guess that's flattering and nothing new, but I never knew he'd go this far to try and do it. Keep my secret, and I'll keep yours. It sounds like a fine deal to me. The door opens, and Kurt stands at the doorway, finely dressed in regular people clothes. Yo, I'm ready. He eyes the two of us suspiciously as he notices the way we lean into each other like we're exchanging funny jokes. What were you guys talking about out here? None of your business. I stick my tongue out at him, and Darren laughs next to me. I'm afraid it's a secret, Kurt. Fine, you two are just no fun. Begrudgingly, he lets Darren and me back into their room, and I sit on the floor next to him where I left my bag. Oh, Nicole, let me pull up a chair. I'm good, it's just the floor. Don't mind if I join you. Kurt grabs his textbook and drops to the floor right across from me. Once he's all settled and cozy, he opens up the book lying on his lap. Where are we going to start now? I pull my own textbook out and start thumbing through the pages. Well, last time we left off at chapter 9, right? Let's start from there. We do so. The chapter is on competitive markets, which we only just learned in class. It's kind of tricky teaching Kurt this stuff when I don't have it down myself, but I do my best. While Kurt and I sit on the floor, absorbed in our economics, Darren sits on his bed, laptop on his lap. He's pretty quiet. Like, he doesn't have to take this class, so he doesn't know much about it, but he pipes in with a remark or two sometimes. It's nice like this, more fun this way. At least now I can raise my voice and yell at Kurt whenever he's messing around, and Darren's there to help back me up if I have to. However, for the most part I don't. Kurt behaves well enough, and aside from that one quip at the start, he doesn't try to shoot any more one-liners my way. When he's not being obnoxious, Kurt is actually kind of nice to be around. Wow, did I really just mean that? Ugh, weird. Wait, okay, so what's elastic for a perfectly competitive market? The demand curve is elastic. Everyone keeps their prices the same, so it's easy for the demand to change depending on what people want. Oh, right. It's strange how tutoring Kurt has suddenly turned into studying with him. I wonder when he managed to catch up to me. I mean, I'm happy that I taught him well enough that he gets this on his own, but it's still bittersweet. I feel dethroned in a way. Well, if Darren's right, it's only naturally catch up with me if he's putting in that kind of extra effort to study. What's with that smile? Huh? Giving me this weird smile. Something up? I was? Geez, wow, I didn't even realise. Ha. What, you finally fallen for me, Grave? No, shut up. I was proud of you. That managed to wipe the teasing smirk off of Kurt's face. So obvious how hard you're working to learn this stuff. I was happy you finally get it. Kurt chuckles to himself, and it's weird. It's not the usual overly assured kind of laugh I hear all the time. It's kind of proud, modest laugh. Thanks, Grave. I stayed up most of the night trying to learn this before our study session today, but that sort of backfired on me. Really? No wonder you slept in. I can feel Darren's gaze in the back of my head as I fight back a smirk. Anyway, this is wearing me out. I call a study break. We can start up again in a little. Cool. I could use the break too. Kurt drops his book on the floor and stretches his arms into the air, yawning. Meanwhile, I turn to Darren on his laptop. You on roller, Darren? Darren looks up from the screen, pushing up his glasses and nods. Ooh, anything cool happening? I haven't been on today. I scramble from the floor to sit next to Darren on his bed. Scooch over. He acquiesces and lets me lean on his shoulder so I can take a look at the dashboard. Wow, you don't follow that many people, do you? 250 blocks is considered a small amount? Well, I kind of follow like double that or more. Goodness, Nicole, your dashboard must never end. You guys talking about that roller thing? Kurt looks at us as he stretches his arms across his chest, his other wrist pressed right near his elbow. Uh-huh. Why'd you ask? Just wondering. Heard you mention that one time we ate lunch together. Kurt's eyes roll upward as if he's thinking about something. Always wondered, what do you do on it? Interested? I eye Kurt mischievously and slip from atop Darren's bed to get to my bag. I feel like I'm going to need my laptop for this. It's just like a blogging site. You do bloggy things on it, like post pictures, stuff about your day. Oh, so it's like Spacebook. Ew, no. No. Kurt reels back from our combined assault. Comparing Roller to Spacebook is something you just don't do. Sure, I have both, but I don't think of them as the same thing. Alright, sheesh, calm your tits. I don't... Whoa! Okay. Again, possibly an idiom that is slightly less strong in America than Britain. I didn't even know that site existed before I met the two of you. Kurt sulks on the other side of the room, sore from having been told off like that. I guess he has a good point. It's not like he knows much about it. Ooh, okay, so wait, show him with Darren, make Darren show him, or tell him to do it itself. I'd say surely the best thing I can do is show him with Darren, because him and Darren are already friends, so even though me and Kurt have a bit of a dubious relationship, like, the best thing I can do is show him with Darren, because Darren and Kurt will get on, they kind of know each other better than I know either of them, and I know, I don't want to get my relationship with Kurt up, but Darren's in the room, and I kind of want to get my relationship with Darren still going up well, so let's show him with Darren. I think I have an idea. If you really want, Darren and I could show you how it works. Us? Darren takes a moment to ponder over this. I'm not sure if I should take part. I tend to have a hard time explaining things on the go like this. Well, what if you just help me out if I miss something? Let me do the bulk, you can fill in the details. That'll work too. Aha! Good, my Darren relationship has gone up. Excellent news. Darren's face lights up in relief. I know it can be hard for him to speak sometimes. I don't want him to have to do any unnecessary struggling. Okay, I will do that. Great. What do you say, Majorie? Interested? Okay, and Kurt relationship going up too? Not like I have anything better to do. I want to see what makes this website so great that it's hooked the two of you. I would not say that we were hooked. I think we kind of are, but it's not like Kurt needs to know that. We just really enjoy Roller. Call it what you want, guys. Doesn't make any difference. Kurt still manages a smile to show he's teasing. He looks genuinely interested in what we have to say. And trust me, I have a lot to say about Roller. I scoot back until I'm leaning against Darren's bed, then curl my fingers towards myself. Alright, Majorie, get your butt over here. It's time for Roller Crash Course 101. I open my laptop as Kurt crawls over to sit next to me. Darren leans over my other shoulder to stare at my screen, though it's only my desktop for now. I thought you said you hated it when other people looked at your screen. It's your lucky day, because I'm making a once-in-a-lifetime exception. Kurt grins and shuffles close enough that I feel our shoulders nearly touching. I don't think I've ever been this close to Kurt before, but I actually don't mind. I glance at Kurt from the side and he's looking at me, waiting for me to start. Well, facing back forward. Anyway, where should we start, Darren? Why not create a side block to show Kurt the process? You can always erase it later. Nice plan. Okay. Now that I have both of their attention, I open up my internet browser and click on my Roller bookmark to start. So, if you were going to make your blog, you'd have to pick a URL for it. URL? Think of it as a username. Yeah, so in this case, we'll pretend that your username is... I quickly type out the first thing that pops into my head. kurttheidiot.com. Majorie is a bud. I was surprisingly close. Yes, Majorie is a butthead. Hey, I don't like that name. Tough, you should be less of a butthead. I laugh and lean to the side as Kurt tries to swipe at my laptop. Too bad, who's the one making the blog here? But... Sit down, Majorie. Class is in session. Kurt reaches for my laptop again, but I pull it out of his reach. That doesn't stop him from continuing to try, and I'm laughing as I do my best to avoid him. Let me just say that it's really hard with how long his arms are. It comes to a point where we're nearly wrestling with each other. Darren, put the leash back on your dog. I'm going to make you change that URL. Just you wait. Darren watches our back and forth in horror until suddenly he pushes his arms between us and brings us apart. No more roughhousing, please. That finally gets Kurt to stop. He grumbles to himself and settles down. However, I catch him smirking. I can't stop giggling myself. Thanks, Darren. Where were we? Oh yes, now the server will check if that URL we picked is available. I stifle another giggle. I'm going to seriously die if someone else has that URL. That'll be way too funny. Nope, it's ours. Hoarding it. I doubt many other people would desire such a URL anyway. Darren looks like he does his best to fight it, but he starts laughing with me anyway. Now I can't hold it in. We both spend a few seconds in giggling fit, and Kurt looks at us unamused. I already hate Roller. Oh, relax, this isn't serious. No one else will see it unless we reblog stuff. That's for later. Right now we have to pick a theme or appearance that isn't ugly. You can pick up one that's pre-made or make your own, or find ones other people made. I show my screen to Kurt as I scroll down to the different kinds of blog appearances that Roller provides as defaults. Damn, how the hell do you make one of those? Well, it's all HTML coding. If you know the proper codes for whatever you're trying to do, it's rather simple. It's what I did for my blog. I look at Kurt and subtly shake my head. Don't worry, only nerds need to notice. Oi, Nicole, nothing wrong with a nerd. Kurt snorts, and the sound is so funny that I start laughing all over again. Darren's the one unamused now, and he frowns poutily at the two of us. You say that now, but you were the one who was constantly asking me how to code certain aspects of your blog. Alright, he's got me with that. Okay, you're right, sorry, coding is super useful, blah blah blah. But we don't have time to do that stuff, so let's just steal a pre-made one. We continue from there, and after Kurt eventually picks one he deems rad, it's off to show him how to customise what his blog says and how it looks. It's really fun to show him how to use Roller. Lately, it's just been economics and football with Kurt, so it's nice to show him some stuff that I'm interested in. I show him how to follow people, reblog their stuff onto your blog, and everything else he needs to know for the Roller basics. And that's everything? Kinda. There's messaging and other stuff I forgot, but we already went over tons. Kurt takes a deep breath and starts to massage his head. I feel like econ is a lot simpler than everything you showed me. Heh, it takes some getting used to. Oh, wait, econ! We were only supposed to take a small break. I check the time on my laptop screen and see that nearly an hour has passed since we stopped studying. Kurt shrugs and Darren offers an apologetic smile. Sorry, I would have reminded you of the time, but I managed to lose track too. Hey, it's not like we're on some deadline here. We can spare an hour. Yeah, what Majorie said. I forced myself to close out the browser and close my laptop. Returning to my textbook feels like such a massive chore right now, but it's for the best. Hey, just a sec. I perk up at the tone of Kurt's voice. He sounds like he suddenly forgot something. What is it? I wanted to see your blog. Whoa, now I was definitely not expecting that. Mine? Sure. I make an over-exaggerated groan of exertion as I reach over for my laptop on top of my bag, and then open my browser once again and click on the bookmark for my blog. Here. I pass him my laptop with both hands. Just check out my blog, okay? I don't need you rooting around my stuff. Scared I might find all your porn? More like you might mess up my assignments and notes. Plus, that folder I've saved exclusively for reaction GIFs is just embarrassingly big. I still want to seem like I have some sort of life. Thank you. Kurt grows quiet as he scrolls down my blog. As I watch him, I do my best to seem casual, but I'm secretly anxious about what he'll think. I'm like this with everyone. It's like, how am I supposed to feel if you dislike this really personal thing of mine? Does that mean you don't like me too? Dunno, it's a weird feeling to explain. This is pretty girly. Oops, sorry, I forgot to give you the disclaimer. It's more girly than anything, but I do have pictures of other things beside clothes and cute things. Kurt distractedly waves me off as he continues. It's like, all you do is reblog weird pictures on this thing. I scoff, offended. He's kinda right, Nicole. Whatever, you just don't get it because you don't use it. You're dumb, have my laptop back. Wait, what's this? You wrote about tutoring me? Did I? Oh man, I did write about Kurt in my blog. It was after our first meeting ever. My mind starts to shift through my memories as fast as I can. Did I write anything about Kurt specifically? No, not really. At least if I'm basing this on all I can remember. Daw. Mentioning our first meeting ever. I'm touched. It's obvious Kurt's making fun of me for even mentioning it at all. Here I was feeling bad because I might have made fun of him on here once. He snickers as he holds out my laptop and I swipe it out of his hands. It's not like I went into how it's the highlight of my day or whatever. It isn't. Maybe if I'm having a particularly sucky day. Kurt smirks at me. In all seriousness, it was nice, Crave. It was very you. I dug it. Anyway, we're halfway through chapter 10. I want to get this done. He changes gears so suddenly that I barely register he offered me a compliment, and that one wasn't based on my looks. I always get thrown off when he does that. I'm just not used to hearing it. I do like hearing it though. As I get started working through the book problems, I hope I'll be hearing more of those kind of compliments from now on. There'll be a welcome change for the stupid, dirty jokes. Though, I bet your blog could use a few nudes now that I think about it. I stand corrected. There is no hope left for Kurt Majorie. Alright, that looks like that's taken up most of the day, and I think that is more than enough for one part, so I'll pick up some more Nicole next time. And in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Nicole. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Haha, I'm a genius at time. Oh, okay, this escalated quickly. I'd like to fly your drone. So good about a butterfly in a bucket. What does that tell you about the human condition? Are we the butterfly and is capitalism the bucket? What happens if you go right to the back in time? The very beginning of time. Oh, you literally just burn the universe.